So, if this is your first time running into this series, I'm going to introduce you to the people for today's chessboard. This is Josh Scorcher. He has 133,000 subscribers. He's a top tenor, he's also a brony, and he has a series where members of the brony fandom play Dungeons and or Dragons. Yes, I know there's no or. Shut up. 5 years ago, his channel's biggest success was a video that hit 2 million views and then another video that did 1 million respectively, the first being the top 10 best Sonic songs, the other being top 10 overrated games. This is Alex Rochon. He has 70k subscribers. He is also known as the Artok of the Flame. I've been told that he's one of the pioneers, if not the pioneer, of the top 10 community. And he's literally the only person I can think of who has an avatar with a neckbeard on his OC. I've overheard Josh Scorcher talk about him as far back as 2015, the first year I went to BronyCon, back when I used to hang out with Ryan Reno Mills from the commentary community. Ryan always spoke very highly of the man, and why I no longer am in touch with Ryan, part of me likes to think that Ryan's perceptions, at the very least, are a good place to start, especially since I'd never met Alex and really never dealt with the man in any way, shape, or form until last week. We need to put a pin in that so we can finish introducing today's cast. This is Patchwork Heart. They're an artist. Sadly, I do apologize in advance as I don't intend to make this a measure to define Patchwork Heart by, but they are one of the people who was directly affected by the brony known as Y2K Toon Critic, who is a sexual deviant who's known for grooming children, aka Zach Keys. I think that's everyone we need. If not, I'll add brief explanations as we go. This story begins sometime after Toon Critic confessed to courting or grooming children online. A real inconvenient matter happened after that topic was made public. That being that Josh had a series of bronies in D&D that featured Toon Critic. There are two more minor people in the story at this point, well, minor for the purposes of getting the point across here. Lily Pete and Zane Russell. Zane is a former artist of Josh Scorcher's and a friend of Lily Pete, and Lily Pete is a former friend of Josh who fucking hates Josh's guts. There's more to it than that, but we'll add as we go. Long story short, due to Patch's direct association with Toon in a less than stellar light, Patch asked Josh to take the video, the D&D ones, down. This is something that Zane Russell and Pete also pursued. Now, there is an 1.5-hour video up of the call between Patch, Pete, and Josh. I'll add a link to the discussion. It's now public. Now, whether Patchwork Heart was right to involve Pete or not, I cannot speak from experience. Josh can be very frustrating. Now, whether Patchwork Heart was right to involve Pete or not, I can speak from experience that Josh is very frustrating. It takes a lot of patience, and in Patchwork's situation, I can see why patience would be in short commodity. I'm not judging Patchwork Heart for running out. I've long since run out myself, and I nor Patchwork are Josh's friend. I'm trying to remain fair in this situation, and understanding that Patchwork Heart's personal involvement is something that I can understand to be frustrating. It's something that would anger someone. So whether Patch did anything wrong or not, I can understand Patch's frustration and anger, assuming if Patch did anything wrong or not. Notice I said it would be reasonable due to circumstances on why. Let's jump back to last week. Alex Rochon, aka the Artok Flame. I'd like to comment on Alex's last remark to me, because they're still up before I had gotten blocked originally and then unblocked later on. I changed my mind. I plan on speaking to Josh when I'm ready. I genuinely care about him, and I want him to do the right thing. I don't want to be involved in gossip anymore. So I respectfully ask that you don't involve me in more of it. This is between me and him now. Well, Mr. Rocha, we do not agree. Dear Alex, hi, I'm for no good reason. As I stated before at the start of our discussion, I am not Josh Scorcher's friend or fan. I'm not here to verbally blow Josh, metaphorically speaking, or come at you with my lily Pete to win an argument, or somehow excuse what Josh did here or there. The whole point on why I think you're an absolute piece of shit, Alex, like top to bottom, head to toe, blood balls to bones, why I and Patchwork Heart would get frustrated with Josh and walk away is acceptable as opposed to you, is that you're Josh's friend, or at least was. I've kept this under wraps for about a month now, but it's time I say what I need to. I'm unhappy to report that I've cut off my working relationship with Josh. If you know us, you know we've been friends for a long time, and I wouldn't do this without a major reason. I first want to clarify that this has nothing to do with our difference in political or religious beliefs. My falling out with Josh has honestly built up for a few years prior to what set it off. There were numerous factors at play. What finally set me off is the situation involving a former associate of Josh's who ended up being caught as a pedophile. To Josh's credit, he is adamant about getting the criminal arrested and holding him accountable. It's very tempting to simply point and laugh. Oh look, Josh Scorcher just got Josh Scorchered. Allow me to explain. Normally, when the chips are down and some drama comes up, it's been my experience that Josh prefers to just leave people afloat, to cut ties with those people when any kind of drama comes up. It's a bitch move, and when the going gets tough, Josh gets going. I think I finally see where he's gotten it from, Alex. But that's just a theory. The reason why I'm not letting this go, Alex, is because I've already said all this crap about Josh in the past. And what's more, Josh is already on the spot, in part because of some poor decisions on his part. But do you know who's supposed to have Josh's back in situations like these? Friends are, Alex. Friends. Longtime friends. It's those friends whose duty and responsibility to help and put people back together. However, the aftermath of this very quickly became upsetting for me and many others to, quote, silver keyblade. Josh has a tendency to be naive and ignorant to how much something can hurt someone. Who don't remember Silver Keyblade, he's a male feminist who tucked tail and ran and bitched about Medicare in private when myself and the commentary community were getting the shit slapped out of ourselves publicly.
The idea of feminism isn't to say that all men are evil, or that feminine traits are bad, or that motherhood is bad in its own right either. Keep in mind that feminism is the advocacy of women's rights for the sake of equality between sexes.
So he avoided being humiliated for his views. Well, let's fix that. Our edgelords have put together his speech on Medicare into a video for all of you. And we're sure you will enjoy it as much as we have.
My fellow commentators, I have seen many a thing in my lifetime as a commentator among the community. I have seen groups gangbang one person over an issue that had nothing to do with them. I have seen a man make 8 damage control videos just because one other person hurt his little fifis. I have seen many things as a commentator, but I have yet to see what is happening today in this very Twitter. A man known as Mr. Meadowcur, or as I call him, Mr. Meadow Cunt.
It's not that Silver Keyblade's advice isn't good enough for the commentary community, but you're using the advice of a halfwit and a simpleton in regards on a matter on what's right and what's wrong in regards to pedophilia. What could possibly go wrong? It's not as if Alex will start blaming Josh for pedophilia just because Alex has taken some advice from a social justice warrior. That certainly isn't going to happen, is it, Alex? See, Josh, and a few others in the MLP fandom, including this criminal, played D&D together and recorded their games for YouTube. Josh choosing to continue uploads featuring the pedophile became a sore spot for his victims. Somewhere, understandably mortified by this, claiming it gave a known pedophile a platform while other victims were open to having the video uploaded if people were invested in the campaign story. These new uploads feature a disclaimer by Josh about how the videos are meant to explore the subtle behavior of a pedophile and warn against watching for those who might find it upsetting. There are a few things wrong here. The MLP fandom has a sickening quantity of fan art and fan fiction depicting pedophilia. Ceasing the uploads with this pedophile would send a stronger message. Action over words. Pedophiles are not welcome here. Dear Alex, let me explain it to you on why you're a moron. And keep in mind, this is coming from one of Josh Scorcher's biggest critics. Toon Critic, right now, doesn't have a platform. He has no active social media. There is no YouTube channel. There is no Twitter. There is no DeviantArt, etc., etc. And anything that there is at this moment that Toon might have up isn't active. If you could take your feels, which nothing has happened to you, Alex, for you to have a fucking excuse to act like this, and thought about this logically for even a moment, you fat, dribbling, bottom-feeding retard. And I want to clarify, Alex, I never have been more disappointed to finally bump into someone online than I have now. You are not worth a tenth of a fraction of the hype that goes on about your name. I cut off Toon Critic a good month before the pedophilia story dropped. Mr. Johnny come lately. Oh, look, another ill-informed dipshit is gonna kick in the door and tell the fandom where the cow shits. Well, aren't we fucking lucky? MLP's fan art and fan fiction has nothing to do with this situation. And if it did, maybe you should nut the fuck up and actually call some of those artists out by their names. Or are you telling me that you just heard a clever fucking soundbite and decided to parrot it, you fucking degenerate? There is also already a sizable quantity of videos exposing this pedophile, which provide clear evidence of what happened that aren't hour-long fun games of D&D. No one has the time for that, and his crimes aren't spelled out. As far as D&D goes, you could easily retcon the criminal out of existence. If you care that much about the story, or just start a new campaign, sending a strong message to your fandom should you take the precedence over a silly game. The latest event in this debacle is what I find to be the most disgusting of it all. It's coming to light that Josh and the others dogpiled and pressured one of the victims. I'm gonna cut that out. Patchwork Heart into letting them upload the videos while Patch clearly said no. In later statements by Patchwork Heart, they claimed to have given up, or rather having agreed to the videos, with full informed consent. Mentally ill, and still recovering from the pedophile, this strikes me as grossly exploitative. Now, I'm gonna just give Patchwork a walk. You know, being a victim and all, something you are clearly not. I understand that Josh can be bullheaded, stubborn, and his ability to be flexible is close to non-existent. But there's no way that such an old friend of Josh's should be able to be fucking shocked by anything that he's done. Truth of the matter is, Alex, let's be honest, this is less about doing the right thing, which is something Josh has already done. He addressed the topic, he gave a heartfelt explanation, and put a disclaimer. And if it was really just about an easy matter of editing, Alex, I don't see you getting up off over your overweight, slovenly ass to edit out tune for Josh for free. I mean, if it was such an easy fucking matter, you fat cunt, why aren't you doing it? I've edited hundreds of podcasts, minute by minute, less so recently, it takes a lot of fucking time, and you can ask your friend Ryan Reno Mills to authenticate this. I've gone in second by motherfucking second. It can take up to 6 to 7 hours for a podcast. Something a lazy fat prick like you wouldn't know jack shit about. This fucking thing that you respectfully asked me about, Alex, respectfully kiss my fucking ass.
I'd like to pause here for a moment. If you notice the sarcasm in my throat, I'm really just disgusted by this self-serving fat fuck sitting there beating his goddamn morality off. Mr. Rocha, you are a disgusting, shitty human being. Furthermore, since the videos have been coming out, there has been a tendency to blame hate mobs for someone else in the fandom for the warranted amount of negative press these videos earned. This is overly simplistic and conspiratorial. I am not affiliated with, nor have I ever spoken with, the party people are blaming. Everyone I talked to about this incident agreed that it was poorly handled, independently of this person speaking out. This is conspiratorial nonsense. To Josh's credit, I was never meant to be involved with what happened. However, I guarantee I would have found out through the grapevine, and it would have been a poor look for me professionally if I had stayed with that knowledge. I am upset that it had come to this. However, I am sticking to my guns. I do not believe Josh is a malicious person intentionally, yet the lack of empathy that is being implicitly endorsed here is frankly indistinguishable from malice.
Hey Alex, FNG are here? I am one of those mobs. You don't know me, motherfucker. You don't know who is behind any of these mobs. You're an ill-informed outsider who is so concerned about movie bobbing it up.
Not from us. I personally have been very supportive, in fact.
And doing his best to sound as right as possible without dealing with people who were involved with this at all. I understand and have virtually talked to everyone involved in this matter. And you know what? For all Josh's buffoonery, he sure as fuck talked to more people than you ever did, Betty Boo. I don't think I've ever met a more disagreeable Tumblr cuck in my fucking life. Alex, you're Lily Pete without all the unnecessary talent.
Alex, this has always been Josh. It just got to be too much now that it's basically about pedophilia. If hanging out with somebody like Josh has always been awful, then you have always been awful. Get off your bullshit. That Josh would push so heavily to condone a pedophile in the harshest stroke is appalling, as is their abuse of Patchwork Heart. I chose to condone these actions, and unless great reparations are taken, the parties involved. Wow, this is heartbreaking stuff to hear. I feel sorry for not only you, but also for that one party involved in all of this, and involved for that matter. I was secretly hoping that a lot of this stuff coming out wasn't true, but alas, to be honest, I'm still not processing this. Take your time. Thanks.
Alex, this man has nothing to do with any of this crap going on. My best fucking artist nearly killed himself over Toon Critic's fucking careless retardation. The fuck did you lose? I really do wish nothing but the worst for you.
Nice way to backstab Josh. Zane taught you well.
He really didn't. I made my decision. Gasp. Myself. Is every YouTuber from my childhood going to turn into an enabler?
Dear Timothy, that sounds like a you problem.
I'm going to show this here because a lot of Josh Scorcher fans are going to think that people are going to think that Alex is a piece of shit for the wrong reasons. There's a series of retarded superfans who can't figure out right from wrong. I'm not suggesting Alex had to be married to Josh for life. I'm suggesting that Alex is a shitty person because one of his friends is going through a really rough time. And Josh clearly needed you, motherfucker. It's called timing, Alex. Let's be honest. You thought that your Tumblr friends would think that you were friends with an enabler. And I'll say it again. If people out there who are upset with Josh from just being, well, him, and are having a good laugh right now, that's fine. You reap what you sow. Alex, you're supposed to be better than that. For bad timing, this is right up there with Toon Critic dumping Mimkage at BabsCon. You know what, Alex? Barring anyone who's ever molested any kids, you're the most disgusting, shitty-ass person I've ever talked to. You're king cunt. And I hope your friends realize, if they ever need your help, they sure as fuck better not break any of Tumblr's 95 thesis moral ideologues. Because I'll tell you what, you won't be there. Thank you. Fuck you. Bye. I genuinely want the best for everyone in this situation, though that isn't entirely possible. Some people will be disappointed or hurt. My priority is gauging how many or less people are likely to be hurt by one decision over the other. Thank you for understanding. Peace on earth. Goodwill to men. I think it's erroneously simplistic to distill my long history with a person down to the latest troubling event.
I mean, that is what you're doing, Alex. But anyways.
And then say I'm not thinking for myself when I decide to question my relationship. There's a lot of people don't know, and it's never right to assume you know everything.
Alex, you know fucking nothing right now. Absolutely jack dick in this situation. As far as I'm concerned, I'm glad you did this publicly so we can show the rest of the world that you spouted off unintelligent, uninformed bullcrap so that you could feel good about yourself. You dumpty fucking moron. I'll say it again just in case I missed this in the script somewhere. You are the most disgusting person that I've talked about, barring people who've molested children. You are a shitty human being. One thing I'd like to say, after yesterday's fiasco, people are nauseated. One person's decision to break off from someone never happened in an instant. The straw that broke the camel's back may be the last, but it's not the first. Alex, it's about timing. I'm not saying that I would have been Josh's friend. We never got along. It's because in this situation, as you said, you're an old friend. He really could have used somebody like you right here. You could have got him through this and then cut ties. But you had to worry about my reputation, Alex. There is no doubt in my mind that you are indeed someone who's friends with Silver Keyblade. You are another disgusting Tumblr piece of shit, and it shows.